Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to show you how to make this saddle bag. This particular design was inspired by the mini saddle bag tutorial which I produced 3 years ago for the Sewspire community. I have ever since wanted to make one larger, and this is the first attempt at that. I did add interior pockets to this design. So there are 3 slip pockets on either side, and then because this flap is much larger, I went with the hook and loop tape as opposed to the snap closure that was featured on the mini saddle bag. So I think this would be an adorable lunch tote. You could put the lunch on one side and the snacks on the other side, especially if you could incorporate some insulate material into that. But depending what kind of contents you're going to use it for, in general, I think it is an awesome organizer. So shall we get started? So for the sake of time, I have already pre-crafted one of the divided compartments, and I'm going to show you how to craft the second divided compartment, beginning with the interior. So for this project, the body panels measure 12 inches wide by 22 inches long. For the interior, I selected a nice heavyweight twill because I am using a quilt weight cotton on the exterior, and I did not want to have to use a lot of batting for this project. So to begin, we're going to add a row of slip pockets to the interior compartment, and the pocket panel is crafted from a piece of material that measures 7 by 12, and then I just pressed over those long edges twice. I'm going to go ahead and hem that top edge. Okay, so I have the top edge of that pocket hemmed, and then I want to take that interior body panel, fold it in half, and then fold that over one more time, and I'm just going to notch out a 2-inch corner here, and this is what's going to give the bag its depth. You will notch that 2-inch corner from all 4 of your body panels, so you might want to save that to use as a template. And then after you have notched that panel, this is what it looks like. So you're actually cutting a 4-inch by 2-inch rectangle from that piece. And then here, where that center press line is, becomes the base of the bag. So I want to position that pocket 2 inches up from the notch, or 4 inches from center. And then I'm going to stitch across the bottom of that pocket to attach, and then divide that pocket in thirds with 2 rows of vertical stitching. Okay, so I have attached the pocket there to the interior panel, and I've divided that in thirds. Then I'm going to fold over that panel, and I want to stitch the sides using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then to finish the corners there and give the bag its depth, you're just going to align those notched edges and stitch across there using the same 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And you repeat that process for the other side. You're just aligning that side seam with the center of the base and then stitching right across. And now the interior is complete. You're going to need to craft 2 of the interiors with the pockets, and then the exterior is crafted in the exact same way. You just omit the pockets, and for that I use the quilt weight cotton. I'm going to take that top edge and fold it inward 3/4 of an inch. You have the option to press that if you like. And then the top edge of the interior is folded over, and you just fit that interior inside of the exterior. Begin by aligning the side seams, and then you can move around that and secure both pieces together with pins. And you can see that twill offers this piece lots of body, and it stands on its own, yet it's still lightweight and can fold flat for travel or storage. So we're going to set aside that panel for a few moments and craft the flap, which is constructed from a rectangle of cotton fabric which measures 8 inches wide by 13 inches long. You're going to take that and fold it in half, and then line the back of that with a like-sized piece of quilt batting. So you have the 2 pieces of fabric right sides facing the batting. Then you're going to go ahead and fold that in half and angle your corners. I saved the piece from my first compartment, and so I'm going to use that as a template here so that the flaps align. It's just a very slight angle off the corner there. And then what you're going to do is stitch the side, the angle, the top of the flap, the angle, and the side. Leave this portion of the flap open to turn. Okay, I've made it around the flap. I'm going to turn that right side out and press it flat. Then I want to top stitch around the finished edges. My flap is nicely finished. I just need to attach a piece of hook and loop tape to that. The piece that I'm using measures 4 inches. And so I'm going to attach that to the underside of the flap. I want to center it and bump it up approximately 1 inch from the base of that flap. And then for the rough edge of the hook and loop tape, there's a little tiny lip on either side that does not have any hooks. You want to stitch along that lip. Okay, I have that hook and loop tape attached to the flap. Now I want to insert the raw edges of the flap on the pocket side of this compartment. So I'm just going to remove those pins and slip the raw edges of that flap down inside of there. And that's going down approximately 2 inches. And you can center your flap and then secure that with pins. And that's what that looks like. And I'm going to now remove the machine deck and stitch all the way around to secure those layers. Okay, I've made it all the way around. I want to fold that flat and then fold over the flap and determine where I need to position that soft side of the hook and loop tape. It should work out to be approximately 2 inches from that top edge on the front side. The front side of this has no pockets for this reason, so that when we stitch the hook and loop tape in place, we don't seal up the pocket. So I'm just going to stitch down that edge to secure that. and that will allow the flap to close. All right, and if you decided to stop now, you have an absolutely adorable bag. If you'd like to take that to the next level, craft a second one, and then we are going to design a handle and attach these together to create the saddle bag. So I'm going to set both of these finished pieces aside. The strap or handle is crafted from a piece of quilt weight cotton that measures 5 by 13, and that has a slim 1.25 inch by 13 inch piece of Pellon inside of there, and I do not know the number, but it is the thickest Pellon. And so the handle you craft in the typical Sewspire way. Fold that in half and press it, open it up and bring those folded edges inward to meet on the center press line. This is when you'd insert your Pellon. Mine's iron-on, so it's already in place. And then fold that remaining edge over. You're going to stitch down the open edge first and then the opposite edge to finish. Okay, I have my handle finished here. I want to bring back over the compartments, open up the flap, and I want to align those flaps so that they are facing and in the center. So I have the flap and the pockets, the flap and the pockets, and then the two compartments. So I'm going to line those up, and then I want to put a pin on either side there just to hold everything in place so that I can position the handle at the desired location. That's what it looks like there. Then the handle gets tucked in between those panels, and I came in just right inside of the top stitching on the flap. So begin with one edge there, align it just inside of the top stitching, and then put a pin through the flap, the handle, and the opposite flap. Then you can lower that down and position the opposite side. Okay, so now what you need to do is stitch on top here of the interior panel right across there and back stitch where the handle is, and you'll be able to feel that. Okay, and this is what it looks like now. Now if you open that up at center there, you're going to see those two little unfinished edges of your strap. Go ahead and trim those as close as you can without cutting your actual compartments. And then fold that back over. Remove those pins if they are still in there from the handle placement. And then come in on this interior panel right where those handles are and just run a row of stitching across where the handle hits. And you're just going to hide that raw edge of the handle there. Okay, I just stitched right across there, and then you can see the raw edge of that handle is now completely hidden. That will allow you to wash this without having to worry about that fraying. And then you can turn that handle around depending how you're carrying it and what is most comfortable for you. So I hope you enjoyed this project. It was an absolute pleasure to sew with you. I am also creating a PDF tutorial with detailed photos for this project. So if you're interested in having that for your future reference, I'll put a link in the notes for you, and you can head on over to my Etsy shop. In addition to this tutorial, you will find all of my other PDF tutorials on sale for $2.99. So check that collection and see if there's anything that you would like to add to your reference space. I will be back next week with another organization themed project, which I am very excited about, and I hope you will be as well. I will try to share some sneak peek preview pictures of this new design with you on Instagram and Facebook. Until then, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful day, everyone.